All right, my beautiful friends, here we are, you and me together again at last on this lovely Sunday, January 24th, 2021. This is my newest segment of Markets A Look Ahead, and that's exactly what we are going to do right here and right now. Look ahead. Let's talk. Let's start off with this. The market, if you've been paying attention to this, really does seem unstoppable. Record high, record high, record high. And I'm here to tell you, as much as you might not like to hear it, this trend is going to continue. The environment we are in is unlike anything we've ever seen before. It's being supported by nuclear debt, and that is going to continue. It's the grand plan, allows central banks to inflate. The higher the central bank's balance sheets go, none more so than the Federal Reserve, because the US dollar remains the world reserve currency, the higher markets will go. There's a lot of talk out here. I mean, even this morning, look at Market Watch, for example. There's a lot of bearish sentiment out here. A lot of so-called experts calling a market top, saying the market's going to fall hard. People be ready for it. Invariably, when you hear this kind of talk, it's wrong. The more bears that come out, the more bullish I become. I'm telling you, this is the way I operate. Look, like I said in a recent video, you can choose who you want to listen to, but look at their track record, okay? There are many people out here who sincerely believe that a market crash of an immense magnitude is imminent. Now, what do we know? We know that we have a market that is beyond distorted. Doesn't make any sense. The disconnection between our economy and the market, this gap in the middle, continues to grow. Like I have been explaining to you what happened literally for years. I've shown you this exact thing, how the economy would drop, markets will go higher. Okay. That mechanism is fully in place because of the debt expansion cycle that we are now in. Now, those of you here that seem to be a little upset at me because I'm not giving President Biden a chance, okay, you know what? I always give credit where credit's due. The man is telling one truth right now. One. But let's look behind that a little bit. What's the truth? Biden is saying our economy is in dire shape. Okay, there's some truth for you. But what is he selling at the same time? Yes, no secret to you whatsoever if you follow this blog. Our economy is in meltdown mode, okay? It's a disaster area. President Biden now is explaining that, yes, our economy is in bad shape. But what's he doing? He's trying to sell people on the idea that we need nuclear right now. In fact, he's going on to say that we can go at very, very low rates. He's a salesman. Understand that. Again, and this may offend those of you that, again, are telling me that I'm not giving President Biden a fair shot here. He's a salesperson. He's a spokesperson for the banks who are the real government. So by him explaining that our economy is in free fall, okay, he's selling the proposition that, okay, we need to just borrow more money. We need to borrow a lot more money to save the economy. Let me put an analogy together for you. This is exactly the same as saying, I'm going to save that drowning man by pouring more water on him. Debt expansion is not going to save anything. It's only going to empower the central banks. That's all it's doing here. We are allowing this mechanism to happen. Central banks are in total, absolute control of the situation right now. There's just literally no other way to put it. And we're going to hear from the Fed this week, big week, with regard to the Fed and monetary policy. What are they going to say? We already know they've already set the groundwork. The groundwork is they're going to continue to buy the debt. They're going to continue to buy assets for as far as the eye can see and beyond. And beyond. What does it mean for the market? It means the market's going higher. More record highs are clearly in the cards here. Okay? The economy, our economy, yes, is in dire shape. We are not even close to bottoming out. We're not even close to it. And no amount of stimulus, no amount of borrowed cash from central banks is going to change that. All it's going to do is increase the debt burden on the back of our nation, on the world, and on the citizens of the world. That's what it's designed to do. If you realize, I mean, at its core, and I know you get it if you follow this blog, we have a debt-based economic model. What does that mean? It demands that debt be borrowed into existence in greater and greater amounts, exponential debt, just to maintain where we are. If, for example, and I've covered this, the Federal Reserve were not allowed to issue a single dollar more debt, $1, they collapse immediately. An immediate implosion of the Federal Reserve, even $1. I think this is a concept that escapes many people, but it's an absolute fact. The debt-based economic model demands that debt be borrowed into existence in greater and greater amounts in perpetuity. It cannot ever stop. By design. This is how central banks work. Debt is their product. The more debt they're allowed to issue, the stronger they become. You understand? I tried to explain this to people for the longest time. And I know a lot of you get it. If you're a follower of my work, you clearly understand this. It's a terrible mechanism, but that's the nature of the beast, the debt-based economic model. So now we have a president telling the truth about the economy, but telling the truth for a nefarious reason. For a nefarious reason. That is to allow the central banks to vastly inflate. Vastly inflate. To finish what they started. The creation of a two-tier society where they have absolute control. This is an entire environment is about control through any mechanism they can come up with. And I mean, now they're talking about, COVID passports to prove that you've been vaccinated. It's about control. Digital dollar rollout. It's coming. Control. They want to know what you're doing, when you're doing it. They want to know where you're spending money, where you're spending your time, everything. Right now, again, there's a psychological battle going on. Why do you think, for example, people are being locked up in their homes, isolated from other people? This is a massive divide and conquer mechanism. Dumb down the people. Don't even really allow them to converse with each other. Why do you think they want to crack down on social media? They don't even want videos like this to come out. They don't want you talking to anyone. They want to limit the amount of people you are allowed to share ideas with. All about control. That's what this really is. The scamdemic, the shutting down of the global economy. Who's benefiting here? Central banks, big pharma. Economies of the world are not benefiting from it. The people are not benefiting from it whatsoever. Economy in free fall by design. I'm just going to say it. Puppet Biden cannot tell you the truth. He can only give you a fraction of the truth. And the fraction of the truth is, yes, our economy is in free fall. Our economy is in dire shape. He cannot tell you that we're not even close to bottoming out. He cannot tell you that he's going to vastly inflate the debt by design. The puppet master here in the United States is the Federal Reserve. They're the real government. Okay, they control the cash. They control your mode of transaction. Therefore, they dictate the rules. Understand? It's a very simple concept. All right, so going back to the markets real quick. Market's going higher. I am not saying we're not going to waver around a little bit, but the trajectory for the market is higher. With regard to cryptocurrencies, we know for a fact, it's kind of everywhere now. And it's not just BlackRock buying cryptocurrency here. It's other hedge funds who got in on that dip recently. Okay, good. Let them play their game. We're going to play ours. We know what we're doing here. Bitcoin is over 32,000 right now. Seems to be holding pretty steady. Doesn't mean we're not going to drop. But the trajectory here too for cryptocurrencies is much higher. Much higher. Okay? Maybe we got to be a little more patient, but that's where we're going. With regard to the 10-year yield, when you hear the talk from the bears out here, market's going to crash tomorrow, we're at a top, market's going down 50%. There's even a call out here for the market to drop 80%. I forgot who said it. Is the market massively overvalued? Could it drop 80%? Will it at one point? I think it will, but not right now. And where's the proof? The 10-year yield. People, I'm going to urge you, stop being distracted. You turn on Bloomberg, you turn on CNBC, you turn on Fox Business, any one of them. It's all they want you to do is focus on the stock market. Stock market. Once you break out of that, because don't look where they're telling you to look. If they're telling you to look in this spot, you know it's the wrong place. Watch the 10-year yield. Right on my lovely website, traderschoice.net. Top of the second page, you can see the 10-year yield in real time. Watch that 10-year yield. We're at 1.08. There is no sign whatsoever that we are on the cusp or precipice of a major downward move in the stock market. There's no sign of it at all. Could we still get a correction, a normal correction, 5, 10, 15%? Sure we could. Sure we could. But a massive drop in the market? Nope. 10-year yield is not saying it. So I don't believe it. I don't see it. And again, the more bears that come out of the woodwork, the more bullish I become. Same thing with Bitcoin. When you hear people being really bearish on it, it's going to zero, it's doing this, it's going that, the more people come out and say it, if you're long Bitcoin, you know you're in the right spot. Or other cryptocurrencies. It's that simple. Let's move forward. Being that we understand that we have a president now, puppet, of the central bank, the Federal Reserve, saying, hey, you know what? We need to borrow more. We need to borrow a lot more. More stimulus. Oh, yeah, in any amount. What does it mean for the dollar? Should you be in the dollar or should you be looking for dollar alternatives? Me personally, I think you should be running like you can't believe away from the dollar here. I don't want to be in the dollar. I want to be in other assets. Physical gold, physical silver, physical platinum, physical palladium. Silver, my all-time favorite. I will never change. That will never waver. JP Morgan's going to play their game with regard to the metals market. We're going to play our game. You see, you have to understand. In many ways, JP Morgan is working for us. JP Morgan, the mega bank, the super bank, is working for us. The more they want to suppress the price, the happier I become. Because again, these are not trades. You're not trading physical gold, physical silver, or any of the physical metals. No, you're not. And me, I barely trade the derivative. You know that, although I am a derivative trader. It's too rigged. It's too absolutely rigged. We know who's rigging it, but good. JP Morgan works for you, and they work for me if we are understanding the mechanism here. They want to suppress the price? Fantastic. It's more opportunity moving forward. It's that simple. I feel the same way about Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, hates Bitcoin. The more he hates it, the more I like it. You understand? Call me strange. I don't want to be on the same page as the CEO of a mega bank. I'm doing pretty well, taking the opposite side of most of these people out here that are saying, oh, the market's going to crash tomorrow. Oh, Bitcoin's no good. Oh, I want to be in the dollar. Good for you. Good. If that's where if you're an adult and you feel that's what you need to do, that's fine. I need you on the opposite side of the trade. You understand? Every trade in the world has two parts to it. A buyer, a seller, a winner, a loser. If you've been following my work, you have been a winner. If you've been betting against my work or my lions, you've been getting slaughtered. And that slaughter will continue. All right, people, look, I'm out of here. Love you a lot. I really do. I think I covered some important things in this video. Please share it. Please get it out there. And I'd love to hear from you. Place a comment. I'll read the comments. And I will see you in the morning. I'm looking forward to it.